Hello everyone, my name is Young Falcon and let's discuss Disintegration, a brand new game coming out from the company's V1 Interactive and private division. Special thanks to those guys for giving me a closed beta key for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC platforms, and I'm very excited to cover this game for you guys as I think it is something extremely unique. A little bit of backstory: who is V1 Interactive? Well, V1 Interactive is a new group, new company on the block, but they're made up from a lot of veteran first-person shooter developers. They worked on games like Halo, third-person shooters like S.O.C.O.M. They definitely know what to do when it comes to making a tactical FPS, and you definitely see those roots shine through when it comes to the gameplay in Disintegration. The gameplay is actually pretty interesting, all things considered. I like it's a fusion of first-person shooting and real-time strategy. Depending on your build, you get up to 2 to 3 minions that you can use to place around the map to go pick up either cores for you, fight other minions or real players, or drop off and deliver cores in order to capture the flag of sorts and get a point. It's a really interesting game, but unfortunately there wasn't a lot going on in this beta. You only played on one map, and you had just a couple of outposts on this map. It was only like one objective, which was deliver the cores, so there wasn't a lot of other game modes, but from what I've seen there will be like attrition and other things like that too. So hopefully in the coming betas and in the future we'll be able to get our hands on those other modes, but for now, as it is just a technical beta, just stress testing servers and stuff, this is all we got. So I feel like I got my gameplay out of it for now, and I think it's doing something really interesting. So the gameplay basically consists of you in this grav cycle. There's a bunch of different grav cycle users, each with their own weapons, abilities, and minions to control. Now each grav cycle comes with either 1 to 2 weapons or equipment pieces and 2 to 3 minions, and they also have their own set of abilities. Some minions will carry a mortar blast, some will carry a rapid fire missile launch, some will just throw concussion grenades to spread apart other minions on the map, things of that nature. Now a lot of these abilities can be helpful when it comes to taking down the other minions on the map, but it's up to you and your team to kind of coordinate attacks and make sure you get what you need to do done to stop other minions from grabbing the cores or just advancing their stake in the game. The grav cycle users are also very unique. They have a lot of interesting charge weapons, such as the ion cannon, which can be used to charge up and shoot a devastating blast into enemies, dropping their health bar dramatically. You also have a lot of rapid fire, from mini cannons to mini guns and things like that. Some are more laser blasts, some are more physical, typical bullets that like what we're used to, and not the sci-fi fantasy plasma stuff, and things of that nature. So you kind of have to experiment with each different grav cycle user and find out what build works for you. There's also some that have equipment pieces that I talked about earlier, that their secondary weapon isn't necessarily an attack, it's more of a buff, which can give people health and things of that nature to help carry either minions or other grav cycle users or real players, give them a little bit of a health boost as they travel throughout the war zone. The game is a really fun time, albeit a bit unbalanced from what I've been playing right now. I feel like some classes are definitely much better than others, and there's a couple of things I don't necessarily agree with, which we'll get to in the cons, but overall the core gameplay here is tons of fun, and I like how it's pretty unique. It's taking aspects of those early games like Ghost Recon, again, S.O.C.O.M is a really good example, and even I'd say like Dawn of War 2 with the hero system, or any RTS when they started introducing heroes and things like that, and kind of incorporating that into the core gameplay. So you really feel like you're playing a mini real-time strategy game or something akin to a MOBA, but with a really fresh coat of paint. It gives me huge flashbacks to something like Paragon by Epic Games, and rest in peace to that game, but it really does give me flashbacks to that, and I could see this one going very, very far if they play their cards right, and so far from what I'm playing, it looks like they're doing just that. The RTS elements are really cool. I like how you can use the minions' abilities in tangent with your own abilities, often being able to have a damage-like build like the Neon class I was running. It was really cool to be able to throw a bunch of concussion blasts onto minions, blowing them away, blowing them back, separating them, seeing a grav cycle constantly backdash to kind of move its troops backwards. You pick up on that, you send your troops out there, you're shooting the grav cycle. It's a lot of micromanagement, and it's really, really addicting to get into that rhythm of micromanaging where you want your troops to go, where you want to place down certain special abilities, and when you want to zoom back, take a breather, you know, not get blown up and get hit with so much artillery and heal other people depending on your build, and etc, etc. So there's a lot of really fun micromanagement stuff going on here, and I just really enjoy how the level was designed, that the 3 lanes are pretty fun to explore, all that good stuff. So I feel like the town was a wonderful starting map for this beta, and it did a pretty good job of showing exactly what this game is about, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the more complex maps as we move on from the technical beta and enter more actual open beta stuff, or possibly just when the game releases if they don't run another one of these. Overall, I really did enjoy how frenetic the gameplay was. I think that's the biggest selling point. The classes here are pretty strong, being able to do a variety of things. I was mainly in more of a damage build. Again, the neon build I was running, I had this Vulcan cannon and this ion cannon, so it was really cool to switch between the two in combat, using the ion cannon to kind of snipe away at enemies and chip away from them or give them warning shots, then send my minions in to do concussion blasts and mortar strikes, and dash in with this Vulcan cannon, ripping them apart, seeing the durability of their grav cycle just drop dramatically as I see my other, you know, friends kind of come up out of the corners or help me make a really strong push, and we pick up the core and we start running over to the drop zone. It's all really satisfying stuff, and when you're working with a good team, it's pretty fun to play. One of the downsides, however, is I don't necessarily agree with some of the ways they run the teams right now, at least in terms of some of the favorability that's in the game. Attacking is really difficult from what I've played, even though it's just one map and it's still early days and all of that jazz. I did see complaints kind of as we were playing with in the game that it seems really hard to be on the attacking end and actually make pushes, because the defense team gets a good 20 seconds to prepare everything and move their troops exactly where they need to be, and it comes off really frustrating because there's not a lot of time for us to even start. Like, I remember one game I started, I spawned in and our entire troops just got mauled because they already were all at our spawn, basically like right near it with their minions there, and their ships and grav cycles were all scattered about right in the front, covering each 3 lanes, and we just got demolished, and we couldn't even pick up a simple core for the rest of the game because they had all this time to set up and prepare. I know 20 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but when it comes to a game like this, and depending on what builds people are going in with before the game even starts, it can be really frustrating at points, and I really just wasn't a fan of how it played out. So for at least that mode, I wish they kind of listened to some feedback and see that maybe just have both start at the same time instead of giving the defense team 20 seconds or the attack team 20 seconds to prepare or whatever. I don't feel like it's really necessary for a mode like this. I feel like it's okay to just have them start at the same time and have them go from there, because geez, was it really frustrating to come onto a corner, already see like 3 grav cycles there already prepared and ready to take out your entire squad, and then you just have to eat all that damage and potentially die like out the gate, and that's really damaging in this type of MOBA like games. You know, hopefully they take that to heart and try to do things to fix it up, or give both players the 20 seconds starting, or whatever they need to do to cut down on that would be absolutely incredible. Aside from that, graphically the game looks really solid. I was playing it on a 1066 gigabyte card. It looked very good on my PC. The PS4 version looks pretty solid. Xbox One version I still haven't got to yet, so thoughts will be reserved for that. I might do another follow-up video doing a graphics comparison between the 3 platforms. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. However, overall, games graphically looked really nice, and I definitely enjoyed the game's art style. I really love the amount of character and diversity the robots give off. They have this super slick style to them, and they each all give off so much personality depending on what build they're running, and you really just see it shine through in the character design. So super shout outs to the art directors on there. I thought it was absolutely great. So overall, Disintegration is a game I'm going to be a little bit wary on, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on. I think it's got a really sweet concept going on. It's got something very unique and interesting, mixing this real-time strategy MOBA kind of element to it, but also this very fun frenetic first-person shooting, similar to, I guess, arena games is the best way to explain that, mixed in with, you know, the Overwatch abilities and TF2 style abilities and all that good stuff. It's shaping up to be a game that you probably shouldn't sleep on coming into 2020, and I hope it's a multiplayer title a lot of people are going to invest some time into. So With that all being said, I wish Disintegration and V1 Interactive and Private Division and all those guys the best as we move into, closer and closer to the release of the game. And thank you a lot for again letting me play this. I thought it was a blast. If you are into these weird hybrid mixed up genre games, then this is one you really want to keep your eye on, and I'm definitely going to be covering it more in the future. Alright, and that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And comment down below, what are some of your guys' favorite hybrid genre games? Like games similar to this with its FPS and RTS mix. For me, personally, I'm going to have to give it to a RTS FPS I used to play pretty heavily called Nuclear Dawn. It was really, really cool being able to command all of these big troops and go into these battles and then instantly teleport or jack into a troop right there in this super slick cyberpunk aesthetic. It was an indie game a while back. It was tons of fun, and I highly recommend it if you ever get it on a Steam sale. It's usually pretty cheap these days, so you should definitely check it out. Thank you all again for watching my content. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and goodbye.